Hi, Chef Raphael here. This video I'm going to show you how to make Nduma Bhajia. Now, this is something you probably have never thought of. I'm actually using the Bhajia mixture, which is gram flour and a little bit of spices, a little bit of coriander, which gives it a nice crispy outer finish. And the inside is Nduma as we know it, but this is a perfect recipe, whether for breakfast, whether for a snack. And when you have it with a little bit of mayonnaise, it's something I discovered when I'm actually doing this video. It will actually be nice and crisp, nice and tasty. And if I were to bite into one, the nice savory taste from bhajia as we know it, and the sweetness from the nduma, awesome. Watch till the end, you see how simple it is to make them. Let's get cooking. So welcome to the show. Now I'm excited about this recipe. The first time I actually had it, something I just thought of, why don't we have bhajia that is made of something else apart from potatoes? So I had some ndumas, I tried it and it worked. So on this recipe, what I'm actually going to do, I'm showing you with cooked nduma. What I have done is I've cut them into thick chunks. Remember this, I want to have them like for breakfast. So I want them a little bit chunky, but you can definitely cook them also from raw of nduma. Only that at that point you actually need to slice them thin, the same way you slice thin slices for the bhajia, the potato bhajia. So that will be the difference. But if you choose to cook them from cooked nduma, my advice is cut them a little bit thick, something like this, either round or whichever shape you like. Even wedges, I believe it can still work, only that just don't make them too big. So when it comes to cooking nduma or preparing nduma, one tip I can share about cooking them and actually preparing them is to peel them before you actually wash them. One thing that makes you get itchy fingers and hands and whatever, especially when you're washing, is when you introduce water. When you wash them before cutting them or preparing them or peeling them, you'll actually get, and not for all people. One way, of course, you can also do is use gloves, but after peeling, just make sure you peel before you are washing them, and then wash them clean, and then that's it. When it comes to cooking, it's just cook them until they are soft. Now, depending on the type of nduma you have, some are actually very watery or very soft. Now that one, it's up to you when you're choosing them, or the variety of nduma that you have. So all that is left with this one is just to dip them in the bhajia flour, which when making I only needed to mix the gram flour. Now that's the difference between like when you're doing viazi karai and bhajia. A lot of questions I get about that. The biggest difference is the flour that you use. When you're using the karai, like viazi karai for example, you use wheat flour. This one you're using gram flour, which is chickpea flour. And all I did, I mixed it with some water, a little bit of dhania, a little bit of paprika and ginger powder, salt and pepper. That's it. Salt and pepper is the most important thing. The dhania is to add the speck of green of color, which is kind of optional. But if you just have salt and pepper, that will be enough. Good thing about gram flour or bhajia flour, basically, it has a nice crispy finish when you cook it. And now all that is left is actually to dip this, and I'll show you how to deep fry them. So this is the flour that I've made, the mixture. You can see the specks of dhania. The consistency should be as thick as this. So I'll actually show you the consistency further. So I take my pieces, dip them. Now we are going to double fry this nduma. So it's actually also called arrowroot. So you're going to deep fry them. So I'll put just a few. So the good thing about this thing that I'm actually doing is that even if you have this type that may be broken like this one, or sometimes a little bit mushy, especially the soft ones. When you dip them in this, and of course you handle them gently after when you put them in the batter, is when you cook them, that mushiness will actually go away and you'll actually enjoy the ndoma. So when it comes to the consistency, is that it should be enough to coat your piece like that. See, even after picking it up, it's stuck on the ndoma. So if it's a little bit runny, what will happen is it will look like this. So that means it's a little bit runny. So it's a little bit light. So just add more of the flour. So dip all of them. So the double frying I'm talking about is I'm going to fry them for a few minutes until it's set. So at least here, because the ndoma is already cooked, I don't have to worry about making sure the ndoma is cooked. So I'll cook them in hot oil. This is about 180 degrees. So I'm using 2 hands. Dip them gently. So shake off the excess and then dip them gently into the oil. Don't throw them. So when the oil is hot enough, it will start bubbling like that. Close to the oil and then release. So double frying, like I said, is to make them extra crispy. So I'll actually first cook all this first, and then I'll show you what I mean. So once they are floating, they're actually done. Remember, I'm double frying, so this is the first stage. It has taken about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. Like I said, with this case, we are not looking for the ndoma to cook. It's already cooked. So put them in a container like that. Shake off excess. So what I'm going to do is wait for the oil to get hot again, and then I'll put them back into the oil to get an extra crispy finish and also a more golden brown finish also for the coating. When you fry them from start to finish without double frying them, first of all, it will take a longer time for them to be crispy, the nice golden brown color. This one is a way faster method. You can actually cook all of them, like all this, and then let it, after cooking the first batch, you only need to do is to double fry, and that's what I'm waiting for the oil to be hot. Now, when it comes to this, whatever is left here, don't throw this away. These are actually very nice. They have a nice taste. So actually they are nice golden brown color. This you can actually still have them as a snack, because especially when you have them left over, this is something good you can enjoy as well. So this is the color we want. So wait for the oil to be hot, and then I'm now going to dip them back. Remember, when they start floating, they are ready. Now, this method that I'm showing you as well right now, it's actually something you can use. You can actually like blanch them. This is like blanching. Cook them halfway, the way I've just done, and then store them. You can wait and then eat them a little bit later. You don't have to eat them immediately. They can cool down, and then all you need to do when you're reheating them is now fry them another time to get that nice crispy finish and a nice golden brown color. So after about a minute cooking, this is what you should expect. This is a deeper golden brown color. Remember, when you're having, when you're using gram flour, you don't even need to add any coloring. It has a natural yellow color when you mix it with water. So it's not that you need to add any turmeric. Now mine are a little bit red because I actually added some paprika which is optional. The salt and pepper, like I mentioned, and the dhania gives it a nice green color. So this is what you're looking for. So now I'm going to cook the rest, and then I'll show you how they look on the inside before serving. So there you have it, simple as that. Like I said, double frying will actually make them have a nice crispier taste. So when it comes to serving, that's it. All you need to do is put them on a plate. If you're going to have them plain, as opposed to having them, let's say, with some tea or something, which we usually have Nduma with, you can actually serve it with a little bit of mayonnaise. This is something I just discovered right now when I was actually doing the video. I tried it with a little bit of mayonnaise and it works perfectly. If you don't have mayonnaise, it can still work plain. So I personally prefer even eating it plain, but the mayonnaise adds a nice extra flavor. So I hope you've learned something new. This has been a Nduma Bhajia recipe, very unique recipe, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Let me know in the comment section when you try yours. Until next time, goodbye.